Okay, dear viewer, thanks for joining us today as we continue on this series of Nigerians' independence at 65. And today on the show, we will be looking at the justice sector in Nigeria. How far, how well, after 65 years journey. My name is Chris Anibogo. Thanking you for joining us on yet another episode on your favorite program, The Arena on Aneke TV. Okay, yes, it's all about the justice sector. I must have to tell you the honest truth that any nation has got its justice sector right. I tell you, because the judiciary remains the last hope of the common man. So once the justice sector in any clime is at its best, then rule of law will be at its peak and the citizens will smile for it. To help us do justice to this matter today, we have joining us our former customary court judge here in Enugu State, Barrister Nena Anoze. I put it to you, ma'am. Happy Independence, Nigeria.
Thank you so much, Chris.
You're welcome to our show.
Thank you. It's always
You're
a pleasure being around here.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Okay, just as you heard me say, it's Nigeria at 65. And today we are bringing the searchlights on your sector, the judiciary. I wouldn't know what it may be for those of you who belong to that, category in society. What does it really look like being in that sector, the justice sector?
Okay.
Is it pleasant? Before we come to how far we've come,
Okay.
what is it like? How is it like?
Okay, so thank you so much. And please permit me to start by appreciating Nigeria at 65, congratulating us. Because when we talk about Nigeria, we are not just talking about a geographical setting, we are talking about us.
That's right, the people.
People that make up the country Nigeria. So I celebrate us, I congratulate us for how far we've gone in every sector, So then coming down to the judicial sector.
Before the judiciary?
Yes. An experience. Yes, I am a lawyer, so I have worked in the judicial sector and I'm still practicing as a lawyer. How have we fared, both at the bar and the bench? I wouldn't say we have not fared so well, because the truth is that the moment you are called to the Nigerian bar, and you hit the courts, what you tell yourself is, I have a client that I must defend and protect the interests. I also have a nation that I have to adhere to their laws. I have a conscience to listen to. I have a judge to face, who has also the law that you're coming to address him or her on. So these things are what make up the judicial. So you can't just separate the judiciary from the people, the lawyers, the constitution or the laws in place. So if you want me to share an experience, I'll be sharing experience.
Because we want to understand how it feels like being
yes.
part of that
So
sector,
I'll be sharing experience based on myself starting as a young lawyer.
Okay.
When you are called to the Nigerian bar, you are eager to go and meet a judge, address him or her on issues you have come with based on your client's issues, your client's case. So, but sometimes getting there, you either told that court will not sit today. That is what you hear in Nigeria. Because I want to believe that in some other climes, maybe you have a foreknowledge of what will transpire. If the court won't sit, you will be told that, don't bother coming, the court will not sit. I want to assume that. So, which I know that some courts now have started doing, because I've appeared in the Federal High Court. I had some cases in Federal High Court some time ago, and I was called on the phone to say, court will not sit too. Let's take any date out of court and something like that. So it's an improvement. So back to the
to the matter.
to when we're called to the bar. So you can encounter that, and it was very discouraging. You can also, and you remember I said when you talk about the judicial system, we are talking about both the people, the law, everything. So you have a client that you are to defend in court. have discussed with the clients. So, and those times, sometimes you could say, okay, clients, come to the chamber before the hearing date or the court date so we can settle issues of finance and all of that. Some of them, you just let go because maybe there has been an existing relationship, and getting to the court, maybe court didn't see it, the client gets angry and leaves, nobody pays you for your appearance fee and all of that. Or the court sits, you handle the matter and everything, you still see your client say, oh, lawyer Bikonu, I don't have money today. So some of these things played out and all of that. Then moved to the bench. I also moved to the bench,
Okay.
where I had my own experience too. You prepare
As a customary
court judge, yes, that's the bench. So, and as a customary court is the lowest in the cadre. So
Okay.
we were dealing with the community. So you come to a community where sometimes they speak Igbo in courts. Yes, now. And you can defend yourself. It's not a must that a lawyer will come to stand for you in a customary court level. At the customary court level. So you have to battle with understanding the language. You have to battle with trying to translate Igbo to English and all of that. So I just, it was an experience. It was a good one, if you ask me. And of course, sometimes you even need to go and visit the place of, like for instance, we dealt more on land issues.
Okay.
So for you to go and visit, what we call it is the locus. You visit the place in issue, the place in dispute. As a young customary court judge then too, I was somehow afraid because sometimes they will tell you, they put one juju here. So I used to tell them, I say, see, the government work they do, the government, Enugu state government hired me, so I don't know anything about, and that their juju will not catch me because I don't have interest in this community. I am not even from here. Mine is to do, like I said, when you talk about the judicial sector, you look at the law in place. You look at the people you are going to administer justice to or interact with, whether as a lawyer or as a judge. You now look at the law that guides whatever you're doing. So I tell them when I come to visit locus or anything, I'm coming to do my work and sit as a judge and deliver judgment, I have to be guided by the law. So whatever is happening, it won't get at me.
Yeah.
Whether you come, as far as some of them, we even come, you see them dress one kind,
Intimidating.
So you be like, what? And one thing about the court system is that you are allowed, because it's the health of democracy of a nation, the justice system.
Right.
So you are allowed to exercise your freedom of expression and all of that. So you can decide not to swear by the Bible or to affirm or swear by whatever you believe in. So you see those, we at the customary court level, you see people, they will come with machetes. They want to swear with machetes. That is what they believe in. They will come with their all manner of things. So, so it was really an amazing experience, if you ask me. But I mean, it was a joyful one that I had that experience both at the bar, at the bench, and it has also helped me to have an informed opinion about the judicial system. So I can talk from the angle of a lawyer from the bar, and I can talk from the bench.
From the bench?
Yes.
So in a nutshell, let's put it together now. Are you proud being a lawyer?
Yes, of course.
You're proud being a lawyer?
Yes, I am. I wouldn't have spent 5 years in the university, spent extra 1 year at the law school, come out, I was called to the Nigerian bar, and I'm not a lawyer. And I'm over 17 years at the bar.
At the bar?
Yes.
Congratulations.
So, thank you. So I'm very proud. I'm proud, in the sense that it's a prestigious profession. Is a profession that gives you so much prestige, so much wisdom and knowledge. In fact, that's why we are called learned people, because from your year one, you are reading so many things. When it comes to psychology, because when you come to court, a lot of issues can come from any angle. It can come from environment. You don't need to be an environmentalist. It can come from medical angle. You will need to know at least certain basic knowledge of almost all the fields, all the professions. Because you may need to be calling them as witnesses. You should be able to know when this one is not giving you what you want. And all. So it's a profession that I should be proud of. I'm proud of it, regardless of how the Nigerian system tries to paint
And that's the
it.
next level we are coming to now. Since you're so super proud of this, your profession,
Yes.
are you also proud of where the sector is at the moment? Nigeria is 65 years of her independence. The justice sector in Nigeria, which is your constituency.
Yes.
Have we come good enough
Chris,
as a people?
Chris, we are not yet where we want to be or where we are supposed to be. But the truth is that we have really come a long way. Do you know that right now, like, we have a lot of innovations in the judicial system that have been introduced, which was not there, way back. So I know that there's something we call like front loading of your evidence, everything that you have to present before court, which makes it very easy for you, gives you speedy trial and all of that. You just come to court, adopt your matter, adopt your written statement and all of that. You get cross-examined and the other person, just like that. Before you say Jack,
That must be a new...
It's been there for over how many years now?
Oh, really?
But it's an innovation that came on. Like before, you will come, the person will start story from the thing now happened when we started. We said, no, you front load, and nobody is taking on our words. You know what you are coming to defend. You know what you are coming to answer to. You get? So we have a lot of innovations. Now we even have virtual sitting. Yes, we have virtual sitting. Now we have... there are a lot of innovations. Innovations, yes. During the COVID-19, we're having virtual sittings.
Okay.
Yes, and even some places where they have insecurity issues and all of that, judges don't need to go to court. There could be virtual, these things are in place. Because somebody was showing me even, they said they were the ones that installed all these tech something. So the judiciary is now having technology come into play so that you don't need to just keep recording. I remember my time as a customary recorder. You will write. When I finish, my hand will be paining me. Oh, my God. Before you lift your hand, for you to write judgment is not an easy thing. You have to gather from the defense, gather from the plaintiff, gather everything, collate them, cite laws, do these things. But with the help of technology, which the judicial system has also adopted, is making cases easier. All right, so we've really gone far in a lot of development in terms of in the judicial sector. But like you're saying, are we where we are supposed to be? That is another question, because I know that we still have issues of lack of independence. We are supposed to be independent. In Nigeria, we have three arms of government, and the judicial sector is one of them, and they are supposed to be independent. But now we see some other sectors filtering into the system, trying to corrupt the system, trying to hinder the system from being totally dependent. You see a judge being maybe nominated by the executive and them receiving salaries from them. They are still talking about separate, all those things. You now ask yourself, we have a body that should oversee both the appointment of judges, that should see to their welfare and everything. I'm not saying that there shouldn't be a relationship, but you now hear that the executive bought cars for the judiciaries, did this one, attended their... Before now, you hardly see judges. They don't mingle out. They don't mingle with people. They don't associate. It's not that they're antisocial. It's not that they don't want it, but to avoid being biased when cases come. But these days, a governor is doing something, child dedication, the judge is there. So these things begin to bring about issues of corruption. You now hear, like, especially those of them that handle election matters, you'll be hearing this one was bribed, this one was... So many judgments coming from there. This one will be upturned at the higher court. So these things are the challenges we are grappling with. But I must say that it doesn't mean that we have not really gone, stepped out from where we used to be as a sector. We've made a lot of progress in terms of trying to adopt technology, in terms of trying to, have speedy trials and all of that, because a lot of laws are in place. We have some practice directions that aids speedy trials and all of that. So they are in place. We have a lot of laws that have enabled even some work. What do I want to say now?
What's that one now? I wish I could help. I'm not a lawyer. I'm not.
No, like some clients, some citizens who could not access justice, maybe because it was hard and all of that. In the judicial system, we have some aspects where someone can be given a lawyer, even without you having money. So you can have access to a lawyer. So if you go through the Ministry of Justice, you can get that. That can give you access to pro bono services. So I think it's a whole lot improvement, but we are not yet there because we are still grappling with corruption. We are still grappling with infiltrations from other arms of government, especially the executive, because when we say other arms of the government, you may discover that even the other arm does not really have much influence.
Talking of the legislative arm now.
They don't have much influence, but that of the executive is as if in Nigeria we just run one arm. The executive is in charge of almost everything. And that's too bad. It's not good for our democracy. It's not good for the judicial system. The executive and the legislature should ordinarily be afraid of the judiciary. Because when you have finished everything, you come to them to interpret what you have done. And whatever interpretation is given, that is what it is.
And possibly that's why the judicial sector is regarded as the last hope of the common man.
That's why because if anybody is doing anything to you, you say, okay, we'll go to court. Let's go to court. Because we believe that when you get to court, you have justice. And how do they deliver justice? The law is there. I don't need to know who you are. Do you understand? That's why you see that woman, the eyes are covered. I don't know. I didn't need to. What I need to know.
The blind woman of law.
Yes, I need to hear your matter. Once I hear your matter, and even me, a lawyer that is defending you, so you need to tell me the truth so that I will know the angles to defend you from. Even if you're guilty, there's still a law that says this is how a guilty person should be treated in court. Or this is how the matter of a guilty person should be handled. You understand? So we just apply the law. If we can allow the law to take its course and allow the judiciary to do their work the way they should, we don't have any problem. That's just
okay, Barrister Nena Nozie, no need asking you the question, what is responsible for why the judiciary in Nigeria is not yet where it ought to be? You already provided us the answer when you said amongst the three arms of government, there should be separation of powers between the legislative, the executive, and the judiciary. But now, it's obvious that in our Nigerian system, somebody described our democracy as Nigerian type of democracy. So because this is not the globally accepted democracy that we should be, that we should know. But then again, the executive arm seems to be having overriding influence, upon every other, arm of government. But the question and worry is, should the judicial sector allow itself? Because that's a very honorable profession. And that's why I started by asking you, are you proud being a lawyer? So should the judiciary, allow itself to be enmeshed? You just pointed at corruption, knowing fully well that this is the last hope of society. And if this last hope of society should be allowed to go down the drain, that society is finished.
It's finished.
Should the judiciary allow itself to,
Yeah, you see, just like I said, judiciary is the health of democracy. Because if you say you're accusing somebody for doing anything wrong, it is until the court says, yes, that person has done something wrong, that is when it will be wrong. So now, when I now buy you, give you money for you to say that what this person did is wrong, or what did some of us saw it during our time. Just imagine at that lower court, somebody still wants to bribe you to give land A to B instead of to the rightful owner. You ask me, did you do that? And I'll tell you no. I never gave somebody's land to another person, maybe because you brought money or this. So it's a question of conscience. people may not be there, and that's why they keep coming out to deny it, because these things are done in the secret and all of that. But it's a question of conscience, because you swore to it. Even in our Nigerian anthem, we say we want to uphold the honor and unity. We are serving. We want to hand over a nation where no man is oppressed and all of that. Even in the new national anthem. So it's a question of conscience. It's a question of adhering to the oath you took, because we take an oath to uphold the rule of law. And that is why I said, when we talk about democracy, it's all encompassing. And even the judicial system is people, is law. You understand? So there's no justification for allowing yourself. In fact, any judge that has allowed, I don't want to say the common man or anybody to buy you over, because there's adequate remuneration, if you ask me. You are well taken care of. Some of them as a judge, you have your official cars. So if you're not content, if you are, it's lack of contentment that will make you to now want to earn millions, billions in Ghana must go for you to thwart justice. So the judiciary shouldn't allow, they should take that challenge of restoring their glory. Because, I mean, from what we have been seeing, especially from politicians, now we are moving away from even the executive. They are not the only ones influencing them on the negative. We have politicians. Because most times you don't hear about all this other bribery and corruption when it has to do with land matters and other matters. They are there. But election matters. In election matters, that's where people started talking about judiciary. Before elections, do you hear anybody accusing any judge of eating bribe or taking bribe or doing anything? It usually comes up when it has to do with election matters.
So it's about politics now?
Most times politicians they out of their quest to gain power by all means, they want to now use their influence, monetary influence, position influence, to disrupt the system. It wasn't this way before. I know the times where we had great judges, we never heard of these stories. When your matter is going to Supreme Court, you are very happy because you know that there are unbiased judges who are not corrupt, that once you get there, even if the judge at the High Court has received bribe, the one at the customary court, at the Court of Appeal, has received, that once I get to Supreme Court, I'm sure. But somehow, what we are seeing is that almost all the card everywhere is, infiltrated with. So nobody should, because I don't think they have any reason. Some people will say it's because of poor remuneration. I say it's lack of being content with what you have, what you're earning.
Because the next worry that comes to mind is the fact that once upon a time, in the history of Nigeria, when the days we had credible men, honorable men,
like the
men of
them
integrity in the judicial sector. We know that Nigeria boasted of having such caliber of persons, to the point that some countries around even came to, let me use the word, borrow judges to go administer, law for them in their own climes.
Yeah.
That was the level of trust. On the caliber of persons we had. Talk about what are their names now.
Nikki Toby,
Oputa,
and the rest of them.
So we had them. So what changed? Didn't we have politicians at that time too?
I think it's the insatiability of...
what changed? Why are we where
people
we
are not satiable. Their wants, their needs. I think it's the insatiability of human tastes and needs. Because if you look at yourself, you're a judge, for crying out loud. Do you have the respect of people? The people respect you. Anyway, you say, this is honorable justice, so you have the respect. You have all the things you need. There are some states that they take good care of their judges. You have good houses, you have so many things in your favor. So what are you looking for? So it's not about the profession, if you ask me. It's about individuals.
Okay.
Because we still have some good judges who, no matter what, there was a colleague of mine of blessed memory now, one barrister. He told us that when he was a commissioner in Anambra, the old Anambra state, that they asked him to allot stores, lock up stores and shops for traders. So he did that very well. And some of the leaders of those the traders came and said, Oga, how many are we going? How many are your own? How many are we going to get out for you? I think we are going to reserve 10. So, say, reserve 10. Am I a trader?
Is he a trader?
You understand? But because maybe that was the norm, that was how the previous people used to do it. But because this man was already satisfied in himself, he had conscience. He felt that this is for the poor. Just like the same way they will bring out a good policy. They will say, we want to feed 1,000 women, rural women in Enugu. And they'll say, go and feed them. You still see these politicians bringing their brothers and sisters who do not need these things. You ask yourself, why do you need these things? Why are you bringing these things? So any judge that cannot be satisfied with his or her remuneration, you are not satisfied with all that goes with the position as a judge, then you can fall for anything. And it shows that you don't even have conscience, because it's equivalent to killing somebody. When you deny someone justice, deny someone his or her rights or his or her possession because you have taken bribe, you have killed that person. The person will never forgive you. And you have killed the nation you said you swore to uphold. And this thing goes to every citizen. Because good, we are talking about judicial system, but every citizen, each time we sing that national anthem, especially the old one, even this new one, so I get to a place I almost want to weep when we sing it. When they say, where no one is oppressed. They have the banner without stain. So if you're handing a judiciary with a stain of corruption, that our children can no longer want to read law, not to talk of going to the bench, because of your attitude towards justice delivery. I mean, you have killed the nation you say you are going to uphold, and you have killed the next generation. So what we can do is just what we are doing for them today. Say, try to conscientize them. You don't need any bribe. You don't need anybody that calls you and say, oh, are you the one sitting in? So, yes, I am the one sitting. Even when I was sitting in that lowest court, I knew a lot of calls that came just in a rural area where I was sitting. You still see people, do you know that woman? Do you know her? I know her. You call just to influence judgment. So what do you want to influence? You want me to deliver judgment and give your land that doesn't belong to you because you know me or because you can buy me off? I'm telling you, it got to a point. There was a car I was using that time that was very unique. Sometimes when I was going to that court, I had to park it somewhere and take a friend's own just for me to disguise. It doesn't need to get to that, because even you, a citizen that is trying to bribe a judge to do the wrong thing, you are part of the problem.
That's right.
And that's why I say you can't talk about the judicial system or our democracy without linking it to the people. If anything is wrong with the people, it will be wrong with the judiciary. If it's wrong with the law, the law, our law in place. That's why we keep having amendments and all because we always see lacunas. So once there's a lacuna, you need to look at that lacuna and fill the gap so that there will be smooth delivery of justice. And again, as I've talked about the people, the law, and then the system. If you also come to a system where people are not free to express or do their work, maybe the Oga Patapata, the chief judge, will say, I have interest. So any judge, have you not seen cases where a judge will sit and say, no, I'm not doing again, because of too much pressure from here and there? Matter will go back and start de novo. That is, start afresh. So these things are just what we are suffering as a nation. But
all right, so we'll go on a quick break now.
Okay.
We want to go on a quick break, and when we return, we'll go to some other, angles in the course of what we're looking at today. So, dear viewer, don't go away yet. We are not done. Barrister Nina Noze is very much with us on the show today, as we are looking at Nigeria 65, a look at the justice sector. Stay with us.
Life. According to a veteran lover of nature, Mr. Odo Chukwuebuka Gerald, he views life as a progressive stage. The joy of life often invokes the intrinsic beauty of our true existence. Life is not a straight road. It bends, it breaks, it blossoms again. We stumble, we soar, and sometimes Just breathing is proof that we are still becoming. It's not always loud. Some of the best parts of life comes in whispers, in morning lights, in long walks, in holding someone's hand through the silence. Life is not measured by years, but by moments. And in every moment, even the ordinary ones, is a sacred chance to begin again.
Okay, good to return with you to the program, The Arena on Aneke TV. And I told you before I went on that break that Barrister Nina Noze is still here with us. I wish I'm not going to tell you that the program is ever going to get over because I think I'm enjoying the conversation. Barrister Nina Noze, I don't know, you've gotten wealth of experience in this industry, in your career. You've been at the bar, at center at the bench. But don't expect me to ask you this question. Which do you prefer, the bar or the bench?
Okay, so I think they are
For
both
you,
good.
yes.
They are
of them
both good. But I think I enjoyed the bar at that moment because it gave me a lot of time to run my family. Yes, because you can actually say, okay, once a matter is at least you are the one in charge of the courts.
Okay.
So you can decide, okay, lawyer, I'm giving you dates for 2 weeks so that I will have my 2 weeks rest. Unlike as a practicing lawyer, you come is the judge that would, and that's why you always say as court pleases. It may not please you, but as court pleases, you will come that day that court, even though you have the privilege of also saying this date will not be. But if the date is also convenient for the court to, dispense with the matter, sometimes you are given a date that may not be convenient, and then the other lawyer too at the other side will have to agree with you that this is the date. But as a judge sitting in a court, I can decide to say, okay, please, this whole week there will be no matter. Next week, please come. So I have time for myself. So I think at that time I had a young family, because the children were quite
Needed your
young. They needed my attention. So but for now, we can do both. We can go to court. Anyone is okay for me.
And as well as dispense
anyway, because
justice.
as you're practicing, you are gaining experience, vast experience from different fields, from the matters you listen to. Like right now, I'm concentrating on gender-based violence. Each time you see me in court, I'm talking about, maybe I'm fighting for a woman that has been deprived or her abuse, or a child. So that is so I may not be able to do that if I'm sitting as a judge, because it's as if your hands are tied. You are listening to matters. In fact, if the victim himself cannot produce adequate evidence, sometimes you see the person losing out of either technicalities or not being able to present the matter very well.
The law is there.
The court is not a Father Christmas that will come and start granting you what you did not ask for. So these things may play. But if I'm as a lawyer, I'm defending, I will know the whole ingredients, everything to bring to the table, so that my case will, be well taken care of, and I'll win my case.
Okay, good and fine.
Both of them give different satisfaction.
And good enough you have the experiences.
Yes,
and we wish you are going to get
a higher court. Yes.
Now, one other challenge you made reference to earlier on is the non-independence of the judiciary. The non-independence. Why is this so? Why is the judiciary in Nigeria not independent?
Even when they should be. It's just like asking, why is independent national election?
That's the INEC?
INEC. Why are they not independent? Even when independence
even when it is called independent national election commission.
It's a system. It's a system entrenched in corruption and lies. We need to tell ourselves the truth. And again, that's why we keep clamoring for judicial review, for constitutional review.
Okay.
We need to review some of these our laws. And
so is this about the Constitution now?
And sometimes you just see some words there that may still, some of these people who what's the word now? Who penetrates another's jurisdiction, have a kind of something backing them by the law. So by the time you try to unrope yourself from it, you see that law is somehow aiding it. So there has to be clear specification even though in our law, at least our supreme law, our ground norm, which is the Constitution, there is still that separation. But, I mean, I don't know, but that's what I feel, that sometimes it's as if some of the small lacuna we see in some laws aid some of these things. Yes, but the truth is that they should be independent.
Is it now a case of lacuna in the law? Because a lot of persons have come up to say that the problem we have in this country is not actually about laws, that we have all the laws in the right places. But then the implementation of the law becomes a big problem. So is it about our laws now? Is it about the players?
The interpreters and users of the laws, where people come into the...
It starts...
And then our selfish interests.
So do we hold the Constitution responsible for the non-independence of the judiciary, or is it the practice?
Like I said in the Constitution, these different arms have their roles.
That's right.
Yes, it's well stated. But sometimes you still find out that certain roles may be assigned, for instance, to the executives. And that's why even up to today, some states are saying, let us have state police, for instance.
For security.
Because they are seeing that having so much given to the executive is affecting them down here at the other levels. But we cannot excuse corruption or independence of the judiciary, independence in quotes, of the judiciary from the Constitution. We can excuse it, or we are not excuse it, rather, we can attribute it to, number one, the corruption in the system as a whole. And when, maybe, for instance, appointment of judges, you hear that so governor has appointed this judge. Is it not he that pays the piper, that dictates the tune? So when you appoint, you give car, you give... The same thing with even the legislatures. You're asking them, what are you doing? They say, we are waiting for the governor to give us car. We are waiting for the governors to pay our salary.
At the state level?
At the state level. You understand? So when these things are done, you see that you ask yourself, which law permits this? That the judiciary has to be appointed by the executive, that their remuneration has to come from them. Some of these things are the things that makes it open. Because they are the ones paying. Like, you can trace the history of Enugu, for instance. Let's use Enugu where we are. You say, okay, when have you ever, or even Nigeria, that a sitting president was impeached, or a sitting governor of a state was impeached? Why are they not impeached? Especially
over established cases.
Why are they not impeached? You ask yourself. It is because the system makes it somehow impossible. Because the governor will determine who will be the Speaker of the House. The president will appoint the Senate president. Do you get? It's a system enabled by some sort of negligible positions
and
in the law.
These, as you said, could be attributed to the gaps. The
gaps, you understand?
In the law.
Because if not, we can go to court and challenge. How dare Mr. President determine what happens in the legislature as to who becomes the Senate president?
Who becomes the Speaker of the House of Representatives?
And then you see these people also dancing to the tune of the executive. So it will be very, very difficult for these institutions to act independently.
So are you advocating for constitutional review, or are you advocating for a brand new constitution for now? A lot of persons have blamed our problems
on the Constitution.
On the 1999 Constitution. They said, yes, of course, the phrase that says, we, the people of Nigeria,
yes,
has given to ourselves this constitution, whereas the people's consent were not even sought for in the first place. Now, will you say, let's review the constitution, or will you say, a brand new constitution?
Chris, if you ask me, you know, this 1999 constitution, you still put as amended, because we have been amending. We are still calling for more amendments, and several other laws are calling for amendments. So if you ask me, if we can do a new constitution, it's okay, because now we have an experience. We have gathered experience. We have seen that some things are not working. So it's
65 years down the road.
So it's just to sit down and now draft a workable. a workable constitution where if this arm is not independent of this and we are seeing it, this is what will happen. As in, and there will be no ambiguity in any form. So that you don't have any problem of interpreting the law and saying the legislatures were ambiguous. And part of why we even have some of these is that some of these lawmakers, some of them are not even, they are just opportunists, one thing or the other happen, how we play our politics, and they find themselves there. They don't have requisite knowledge on how to make laws. They can't, some of them travel just for, jamboree, but they don't travel to learn from other countries as to how they prepare their laws, how they do this and how they do that. So if you ask me, I would say let's have a total overhauling of that constitution, start a new one based on our experience at 65 years. This is what we have experienced. These are things we feel that are not working. These ones are working. So with this, we can put up a new constitution that will capture everything we have seen that did not work in the old one.
A brand new constitution is her call and request so that the justice sector could be better sanitized. Okay, as we progress towards getting towards the end of the show, I wouldn't know, recently the Nigerian Bar Association had her annual conference held in Enugu here, recently.
Yes.
You participated, right?
Yes, of course.
Well, I was super proud of the profession.
Okay.
When, as a journalist, I happened to come around, I saw lawyers in their teaming numbers. I was wowed.
Yeah.
And I said, oh, I don't know for you. A lot of issues came up during the conference. I know one of the speakers, was it the Southern of Sokoto? I think he was a speaker, was he?
He was one of
I
the
think he came around.
I think so.
Aha. A lot of speakers spoke, and part of what they were appealing to you, the lawyers, was to please ensure that the place of money in the dispensation of justice is played down. It begins to look like the highest bidder, okay? The highest bidder now buys justice. And if you close your eyes and ask, can justice be bought in Nigeria? I think it's obvious. The answer is yes. And that begins to now lay a lot of questions around the image, the blind woman of justice, who is always having the scale in her hand and then the sword. But then her eyes are blindfolded. But this time when it begins to look like she's now beginning to see. She sees very clearly now here. And the scale is now beginning to tilt, bend over one side, maybe as a result of the weight of the money being offered to buy justice. Could you think it could be possible to keep away money? Because if you look at politics in Nigeria, the monetization of politics in Nigeria, I don't know, is this a case for another day?
Another day, yeah.
You want to become president, you want to become governor, you want to become this.
You must have
and
money.
If you don't have the money, you're going to be sorry.
Yes, that's true.
Now, in the justice sector, do you think we can ever be able to do away with the man who has the money buying over justice, and if you don't have the money, your name is...
Sorry. Like you said.
Could that ever be possible?
See, Chris,
the conference is gone.
It's gone, yes.
But the lessons learned from there, could that ever be possible?
Yes, Chris, if you come to lawyers, when it comes to lawyers' remuneration, we have our legal professional ethics. We have our professional bodies that oversees that. So it's not like a lawyer will ask you to go and break your bank for you to be able to approach him or her if you come. Okay, for instance, a lawyer needs to attend to your land matters. We have the percentage. So some of these things are there. And like I said, there's an institution, that's where government can even come in the Ministry of Justice. There should be people who can go to them and access pro bono services free. That's free of charge. So if they can maintain that, it will help in them. But if you're talking about bribery, like giving somebody money to get access to justice, that is a different thing. But if it's about, charges, most lawyers don't charge as much as some other professions. There are some professions, you want to meet an accountant, the accountant will tell you how much, and you're like, eh? So we charge somehow our remuneration is even regulated. But if you are talking about bribery, that's a different topic.
Well,
so if they say we should not allow money, we should play down on money, you need money as a lawyer because you are not permitted to do business. You're not doing business. So this is the only business you do. So you come to the chambers, you'll be billed on, depending on your matter and how long the duration, and so it's a fair charge. But of course, we know that some people cannot get access to that, and that's why we have some CSOs, NGOs working that can get funding to support an indigent person. But there's no way a person will just come, a lawyer will defend you without money, except that lawyer also runs a pro bono service. Maybe he gets his money because nothing is free, even in the free town. So he gets access to money because you need to do certain things with money before the person's matter will come up. But if about the blindfolded woman and the scale to one side, that could now be that somebody has been bought over, which is still the corruption we are talking about. Corruption. And that should not be tolerated. And there should also be even punishment meted against any judge. And that's why sometimes some of these matters they give judgment on should be reviewed.
Okay.
Yes. NUJ can say, okay, NJC rather, can say, why this matter? Why conflicting issues? When you get to the Supreme Court and there's a, you notice that there's somehow, they can review it. You understand? That's what, if we get to that constitutional amendment or total, drafting of new one, we can put it in a way that the Supreme Court can still err and it can be reviewed. It's just that sometimes they will say there will never be an end to disputes. If you continue to, say people will not, but there are some things that's why if as a friend you come to my court, I will not want to handle your case because to any common man it will be seen that I will definitely be biased because they know that Nena and Chris are friends. You understand that there's no way you can come to my court and I will dispense justice without that. So when you have any relationship with me, whether as a family member, as a friend, and that's why judges should reduce their association with people. Okay. You understand? So that you cannot be easily influenced, whether by money. It's not only money that makes that scale to tilt. It can be just personal interest or relationship. You understand? Oh, you come, we are worshiping at the same place. We have the same this.
Sentiments begin to override.
You understand?
Yes.
Your emotions, everything will tilt to us. So you will be feeding that scale to one side because this person is your family friend, is your family member, is your associate, is this and that. So these are the things that can make that. So in as much as they are saying play down money, sometimes some of these judges, it's not even about money. It could just be position. Okay. You are promised something by whoever has interest in getting that justice, they're getting that whatever. So it's a matter of conscience. It's a matter of trying to uphold what you have sworn to uphold. If not, we cannot. It's a human being thing. It's a personal thing.
I understand.
You understand? It's a personal thing. We still have some judges who cannot be easily influenced. And they will tell you, if you even call them on the phone again, they will block you. Yes, or once they know that they cannot, in all fairness and sincerity, dispense justice because of their relationship with you, they will decline. And they will tell the judge, the chief judge. The chief judge will assign the case to another judge. Okay. And the matter will go on.
I wouldn't want us to look at remuneration.
Okay.
I hear it's an issue of its own for those of them who are working in the courts.
There's no way you can ever say that anybody is over remunerated. But that is not a reason. It's not enough reason for you to sabotage the profession that you swore to uphold. You understand? It's not enough
as
reason.
Dignifying as the profession.
As dignifying as the profession. It's not.
Barrister Nena Nozie, just one more before we go.
It's okay.
Okay? I want us to look at delay in justice delivery, delay in justice dispensation. It is said that, how is it put again? Justice delayed?
Delayed is justice denied. Yes.
Here in this country, you begin to see where a lot of persons are kept behind bars, awaiting trial for years. You go to the courts and you begin to see that some cases are just lying there for God knows how long, okay? I don't know. It's a problem for the judicial sector in Nigeria. And it's not speaking too well of us as a people. Can we have a way around it, to speed up, justice so that we don't delay justice anymore?
Yes, we can. And that's why I said they must have to introduce, which they are doing, most courts are doing now, introduction of digital.
By the way, sorry to cut in, do you think we have enough judges in Nigeria?
I don't think we do, because even
Well,
we are even asking
like
for
the ones we have overwhelmed
yes,
with
we are
cases
we are even
in
asking
their
for
hands.
creation of special courts that can be
Yes.
dealing with maybe issues of sexual and gender-based violence, so that they will
Election
just
matters.
we have those courts for election matters. Some states also have special courts, family courts, all of these things to deal with, so that the main issues like maybe divorce, land matters can go to the general court and all of that. So there could be creation of more courts. There could be appointment of more judges. That will help. There could also be introduction of digital ways of communication and writing of judgment and all of that. Technology can help. And of course, practice direction. There is nothing like law. If there's a practice direction, I remember in those days, for instance, in the magistrate court, they will say, okay, a certain matter should not exceed this number of days or this number of months. So if it exceeds it without adequate explanation of the reasons it exceeded, the magistrate or the judge in question should be penalized, sanctioned. You understand? When other judges see that Judge A has been sanctioned for not delivering judgment on time, other judges will sit up. It will act as a deterrent. And even lawyers, whom the judges will accuse sometimes of delaying their matters, you ask them, lawyer, take dates. You say, no, I want next month. You are in charge of the court. So with the new practice direction, everybody will be seeing that this matter cannot exceed 1 month. And not just having it as a direction, a practice direction, but it has to be seen to be implemented and defaulters penalized. That way, our judicial system will have a speedy dispensation of justice, and matters will come and be dispensed of so fast.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Certainly a good place to lead discussion today, but this is not going to be the end.
No, definitely.
It's going to be work in progress.
We are in Nigeria. Nigeria
So
is our own.
we'll keep
So
bringing
keep
you around
talking
to talk to
about-
us about these issues.
It's fine.
And you also hinted us about your area of focus at the moment, working, trying to give services against
Sexual and
gender-based violence abuses.
Yes.
I think we may need to begin to do more with you on that angle, especially coming from Aneke TV. We could get into partnership
It's fine.
so that we could see how we promote most of what you do, man, because it's
okay.
for society.
That's fine.
All right.
That's fine.
You want to say any other thing?
This Saturday is International Day of the Girl Child. So
Okay, this
we are
Saturday?
Yes. So we are going to be, in fact, we are starting on Friday. We'll go out, sensitize the people on issues of gender-based violence, such as rape and all of that. Sensitize our women how to know and detect all of these abuses and all of that. And something, if you want to be
Okay,
part
so
of, we are
we'll
here
talk
for
about
you.
it and see how we do it for society to get better.
Yeah.
You've been very resourceful on this show.
Thank you.
Still, let's remember that it is Nigeria at 65. Happy Independence, Nigeria. Thank you, Barrister Nena Noze, former customary court judge in Enugu State, for coming.
Thank you for having me.
I am Chris Anibo saying, know your right. Bye for now. This is Aneke TV. We move with the world.